we'll do both. We're streaming and recording just to be safe. I'm sorry if we missed out on that opportunity yesterday, but it would have been some amazing cringe. It's still going to be a lot of fun, amazing cringe, I think, because this channel's all about growing and learning, and you'll get to see all the fun things that I'm doing. Hello. Uh, I was just saying that this channel is all about growing and learning. So every time I have one of these sessions, a live stream, you're going to see me grow and learn something along the way. Yeah, I think two lessons right now. Number one, the chat looks hideous, but hey, it's there. So please say hello if you want to. I'll say hello. I turned off all the filters. Please, everybody be polite and kind. Hell, and yeah, if you want to say hello, that's great. Thanks so much for tuning in. What we'll be working on to, or let's back up a second. What did we work on yesterday? Yesterday, I more or less introduced the channel, the who, what, when, where, and why. In case you missed that, hi, I'm Chris. That's a who. The what is coding curricula, coding curriculums. They're both technically accurate. I looked it up. You can too. Challenge me on it. I dare you. That'd be fun. But we're finding free internet or free web development and programming resources from all across the web. Because there's kind of this misconception in my experience over the last few years that like you'll be in tutorial hell and at some point you'll gravitate beyond it and you won't need the tutorials and the demos anymore. And that's just so not the case. The first thing you do anytime you're having trouble, look at the docs, and then there's debugging, and then you're looking in Stack Overflow, and your peers are going to point you back at the docs and other examples. You're forever going to be in these resources. So let's get really comfortable working in them and take them, most importantly, take advantage of them and learn from them without having to pay $20, $30, $40,000 for a degree or some boot camps. I found this resource, this Web Dev for Beginners. It's a Microsoft resource. They applied some fantastic pedagogy, have awesome programming, lots of free resources. They really knew how to, they did a great job. And we're going to be following this schedule. Just yesterday was lesson one. If you were here, thank you so much. If you weren't, no problem. You didn't miss much. It was just very much a high level, like what is programming and what do you do while programming. And I even uninstalled VS Code and put my VS Code on there, but you can find all of these links. I need to make these hyperlinks, so we'll update that. But all of these are down below. And that was this intro to programming languages, tools of the trade. I thought I was recording at the time. I didn't realize I wasn't. So this time I've activated on Twitch and I'm recording through OBS. So we should have it down this time. If I have to go back and record that lesson again, let me know. It'd be great to hear in one of my channels. I just added Twitter today. So yeah. Anyways, it's lesson 2 today. Getting started, intro to GitHub. And GitHub's where we're already at. I'm going to open this in a new tab. And we'll start with this amazing animated graphic right here that does a fantastic job. Better than, it's more interesting than a handful of slides, I like to think. If we look at this big distinction, Git is different than GitHub. There are many different kinds of version control. The ones that pop off just off the top of my head would be Git Bucket, but there's many others. It's not just Git Bucket, and it's not just that for version control. It's a big market. But GitHub is owned by Microsoft. It's what they use to train the GitHub Copilot AI coding assistant off of repos in here and also Stack Overflow contributions, I believe. And that's where we're at now, and it's again, yesterday I said there's some buzzwords we do want to know, like React or MySQL to get a job. Saying that you're just getting started with GitHub is one of those things that you want to avoid if you're just getting going. You need to be experienced in it, and so that's why this is a fantastic lesson. Today we're going to do our first project with GitHub, and before we get into that, you're going to need to have installed Git. And what we mean by that is where if I open up my command line, I can say git version, and it'll tell me the version of Git I have on the system. Yeah, if we can zoom in there. Git version 2, 3. I don't know if that's the most up to date, but that's the version I have. And with that, I can do all sorts of things. Here's your basic cheat sheet. Of course, I like clone and init, your most important ones. We'll review those coming up. All of that, of course, is in this great curriculum. Thank you so much, Microsoft. After we've downloaded and installed Git with something, look at the documents, like, just Google download Git if you don't already have it. If you're tuning in today, I mean, you might already have it. If you do, that's cool. If not, start with the Google. We're not going to be installing that today, but we will be doing a demonstration of it. And from here, this is where it becomes almost like a cheat sheet for some of the commands. There is some wrangling before you get access to all this. There is some wrangling to actually get installed into GitHub.com and have version control with them. Because remember, the Git software is different than GitHub, which would be different than Gitbucket. But once you're able to create a repository inside of your GitHub repo, we did that yesterday, but we'll be doing it again today, then you're free to do things like your commits, remote, push. We'll have opportunities to demonstrate all these. Change directory into the My Project. I don't think we'll follow this workflow. We may down here. Yeah, I think this looks like the workflow that we've have. And to add more changes right here, where you get into the directory, initialize the project with git init, go to git status, hey, what's going on with it, git add dot, the dot is your current directory, then you need to make a commit to -m for master, calling it your first commit. There always needs to be some sort of comment there. Before you get remote add origin to where it's going, you need to give it the URL and then push it to the main branch. Now, third lesson for my second stream, bring something to drink. I need to bring some water. Let's take this pre-lecture quiz. We missed that yesterday. Let's do it. How do you create a Git repo? Anybody want to answer in the chat real quick? Git create, git start, git init. I didn't see create. And git start, there's an npm start. So let's try git init. Boom, that works. And what does git add do? And you can git add, and it's followed by any directory. And so adds your files to a staging area for tracking. Yeah. Add your files to GitHub or commits your code. It's not commit. That's its own keyword. All right. Add your files to the staging area. Yeah. And it puts it in the staging area before you commit it and then actually push. And how do you check if Git is installed in your computer? Oh, we already did that. Anybody want to answer in the chat? No. Type Git version. Yeah. Git installed. No. Type Git init. For that, that's initializing a new Git repo. So it's Git version. Cool. Okay. So, we don't want that. Pre-lecture quiz. There we go. So in this lesson, we'll cover tracking the work you do on your machine, working on projects with others, and how to contribute to open source project. That's all super, super important. Tracking the work that you do on your machine. At the learning phase, it's so fun to just have like this desolate wasteland of projects that, you could present and you could put on your resume, but don't do that, and I'm doing this raw. I haven't cleaned up my environment, so you'll see some of the things that I've started, stopped, and just walked away from. So tracking the work you do on your machine like that is not good, but whenever it comes to working on projects with others, it's terrible. It may get you fired, or it might be the kind of thing that, just prevents your growth and being able to contribute to others. So how to contribute to open source software is a fantastic way of getting started. We will contribute to open source software. This is open source software that we're working with. It has the MIT license in this package. God bless it. Right. I'm going to show it off. Right there. MIT means just pretty much don't do terrible things with it. I found an opportunity in this repo for us to actually contribute to that open source. And you'll see it whenever we get there. I believe it's in lesson 3 or 4, once we start doing a basic index or a full HTML document. But once you know how to contribute to open source software and accept the fact that you don't need to be like a genius, you don't need to be refactoring their code and like fuzzing it for cybersecurity, software vulnerabilities. It could start with just marking up their documents and fixing typing errors. Then you'll be able to network and you'll get more comfortable with using the software and even making those more important changes along the way as you find them. I'm going to go ahead and share this in the chat just so everybody knows where we're at. Prerequisites before you begin. Already talked about this. Yeah, you'll need to check if Git's installed. You know, you can type that Git version. I'll do it again right here. Git man prompt. Simple as git dash version. It's installed, and I'm signed in to my GitHub already, so we don't have any issues. We're not going to have to fight with that, and you shouldn't have to fight. It's not as bad as it used to be, I don't think. You'll need both a folder with your code project on your local machine, a laptop or PC, and a public repository on GitHub, which will serve as an example for how to contribute to the projects of others. Okay, we can do that. Should we do it now, or is that part of the instructions? No, that's part of the instructions. Okay. Let's create a repository on GitHub. First step, simple enough. So I'm going to, here, I'll use this right here. And where am I at? I'm at my GitHub organization for coding curricula. And these are all my repositories. I have an overview with a profile README. And these are the repositories. We did a first repo over here, but we did it, I think, with the GitHub desktop version, you know, the the easy way. With our lesson today, we're actually going to do it with the commands and follow along. So let's do a new repo. What's it recommend we name it? We're going to put these next to each other with a folder name. Okay. Just call it second repo. How about that? New repo. Second repo. Make it public. Do nothing else. And create repository. And why this step is important is it gives us this .git to fill in later on at this step. See, add origin. That's how you connect these two. Right here. Otherwise, it's just a directory on your computer. So we're actually we've created the cloud instance. Then we're going to next create a local instance. Okay, where we need to make a folder, and it needs to be the same thing. So let's actually do all of this in our terminal. Here, and let's do that and do that. That way they're side by side. And I'm going to cd my desktop, and then is there a coding directory? Yeah, cool. What's in coding? A few things. Okay, cool. So clear that. We're in our coding directory, and we're going to, what do we call this? Second repo? Yeah, second repo. We'll call this make directory second repo, and then cd into second repo. Now we're inside of the second repo folder. And then we can do a, let's add some let's add something. I don't know, touch and index.html. And the touch, it creates a file, while a make directory makes directory, right? So now we actually have that. So let's open this up with VS Code. And the code is this. I realize I'm in the way so bad. Let me move out of the way. And the code right here is VS Code, and the dot means the directory that we're currently in. If we hit enter, there we go. And this can be anything. Here, let's just, using our emit. Close this for now. If we hit exclamation point, that gives us an emit abbreviation for a basic HTML document. We'll do hello world and even date this because it might be fun looking back. My name is John Doe. No, my name is Chris with codingcurricula.com. Okay. And then that might look kind of ugly, so we're actually going to use the prettier. We covered some extinctions that we have in here. I'm not shameful about GitHub Copilot and Live Server and Mitlify, but prettier is awesome. So right now that might look kind of ugly. I'm going to do Shift Alt F on my Windows PC, and it cleans up this basic index HTML, this web document, and save it. And now we have something to commit, so we can just kind of close that VS Code for now because we have something to commit. And we're in there, and now let's just follow along with these instructions. Next up, get init. If you didn't already know, you don't always get the option to click here and copy stuff. It's nice when you do. But when you're working in a terminal, at least with Windows, you come over here, you don't need to Control V, just a right click. Ugh. What's going on? It didn't copy. Weird. Try it now. Get init, whatever. Initialized empty repository there. So it's initialized. Now let's check its status. Get status. No commits yet. We have an untracked file. So it's even giving us instructions right here. Get add. All right. And it's given us a breakdown right here. No commits yet because we haven't committed it. We've added the files that we want. They've been added to like the staging area, but they haven't actually been committed to what we would want to push up into the GitHub Cloud Provider. So let's see if it doesn't make us experiment with it. Yeah, it would say the output can look something like this, like modified files. We have a modified index.html where we did a basic web page. And I probably should have used Live Server and spun that up. But let's get to add. Let's start tracking some changes. Okay, so we'll get add dot. Again, that's because we're already in the directory. If we wanted to add like a subdirectory, then it could be, subdirectory, but we don't have one. So let's just add this one. So get add. Now check our git status. It's changed. Notice the changes. You can see right here we have in red. Now it's a green, new file. And it wants us to maybe even undo all of our hard work. It's fun how they have you do that, but why not? Get reset. I can't, and then can't say I've ever used that in all of my professional, in all these use. Get reset. Nope. All right, cool. Okay. So now we would need to get add again, but if we don't want to type in all that, then we can just use our up and down arrows. Wasn't long ago that I had that. So get add dot. That's what we're looking for. Hit that, and now get status. Okay, back in the green. Good to go. So now that we have this new file with some data in it ready to be committed, let's persist our work. At this point, you've added the files to the staging area. Now we invoke this get commit. So get activates the software. Commit is a command that we're following. Now, what are we going to commit and where are we going to commit it to? We want to commit it to the master or main with M. Makes a lot of sense, but there's also B, which might be a branch. So M, if you don't know the difference. And then let's first commit. I like init commit because it kind of rhymes. Get commit, init commit. All right. So hit that. And good. Init commit. What happens if we do get status? Everything's on branch master, but we're not done yet because we need to add the repo name. So git remote add origin. What is the origin? So let me actually type this out. And we're going to need to copy and paste. Where's the, yeah, need to copy that right here. This is what we're copying. You're going to say git remote add origin. Work there. Single right click. Boom. Pasted it in. Now hit enter. Okay. And get status. On branch. Nothing to commit. Working on a clean tree. Since we've added that origin, now we're going to send these local files to GitHub. We've made it. We're going to push it to the cloud. You see why I like GitHub Desktop with its clean graphical user interface a lot more. But sometimes you don't have a choice if you're working in like an AWS public network cloud stuff without the click, click, boom. So git push, we're on this. We're going to send local files to GitHub. Git push u origin main. Git push u origin main. Main does not match any. So because we should be on our first bug. Fun. This sends your commits to your main branch. Well, what happened now? Failed to push some refs. What happens if we go to the repo and we... or push get branch main, see, origin main. Here's live debugging. Okay, SR, let's copy source. The master branch does not exist. Right. So we need to create a master branch. Branch get. So we did this. We're missing this from the documents. And we've added this. And now that we've created that, push it to main. Boom. Okay. Cool. Good to know. And so now if we refresh this repo and we go to view code, here in the cloud, ready for AI to learn from and anybody else, and I'll share this second repo. We've got the code that we wrote. Hello world, my name is Chris with codingcurricula.com. So let me share that second repo in the chat in case you want to tune into that. Okay. Cool. And so this is a good opportunity to actually commit to some open source or participate in an open source project where we go here and let's double check that we didn't miss a step. Because it says the step that we missed was, yeah. Let's pull up our terminal and you go up, get branch m main. And let's search this entire document for get branch m main. Not there, not found. Okay, cool. So we're going to help out our brothers and sisters in the coding world and anybody else who might be working on this curriculum and get tripped up by that. So what we want to do is now that we know that that's a thing, we need to document it. So let's go to the original open source repo, the one that's actively managed by people at Microsoft, and we'll go to issues, and then make a new issue. And then call it, see, we have many options here. We have a bug report, feature requests, translation checklist, report a security vulnerability. I don't think it's any of that. It's a bug report. So let's do a bug report and title, where did we find it? Here, we need to, okay, dismiss, documentation, scroll on. Here, I'm going to go ahead and take my notes right here, and we know that it's in this directory. Oh, need to make sure it's just web dev for beginners whenever we fix that. Okay, let's read it for. So describe the bug. Give it a title. Steps for initializing missing step. Step for initializing a repository. So we're web dev for beginners. We're going to call this what we ran. Lesson 2, GitHub Basics. Lesson 02, GitHub Basics does not include initializing main branch with command. Then we copied and pasted this down here. Cut that. Get branch main. And then what happens to reproduce expected behavior screenshots. Steps to reproduce a behavior. Go to, we need to pull up this lesson. So we go to theirs. This is their version? No, this is my version. Go to their version. Find the lesson. Getting started. GitHub Basics. So this one. Go to GitHub Basics. Follow steps. Up to 11. Follow steps up to number 11 with C error. What was our error? Look at our copy, paste. Example. Expected to push to new repository without errors. All of this isn't necessary. They just missed a step. It's not a smartphone. I mean, screenshot, if applicable. They really want it. Here. Control Alt print screen. Operating system. Chrome. Doesn't matter. Preview. How's it look? So here's a bug report. Describe the bug. Here, we should probably copy link address. Lesson 02. Preview. Lesson 02. GitHub Basics does not include initializing main branch with command. Fix that S. Basics. Gives error on push command because there is no there. And this is how you contribute to open source. It's as simple as that. And then you maybe can't do any of the labels or anything. But yeah, just submit new issue. And that's it. So we'll see what they do with that. Did I include my solution? Does not branch. Does not include it. Oh yeah, I included it right there in the first line. Okay, cool. So fun little tangent, fun way to kill some time and demonstrate. It's as simple as that. After that, I'm going to be on these people's radar, right? And they're going to be like, why is he going through this curriculum so thoroughly? And maybe I get an opportunity to explain myself, and maybe they like what I'm saying, right? All right. So where were we? We've pushed our commit. Very cool. We have, and more than that, we have an issue up in on GitHub. That's pretty cool as well. Commit messages, always great to include at least, a brief abbreviation of, what you've done, removed this, added that, fix this bug, still working on that, something. There should be a description for the project. Ooh, a README. Yeah, READMEs are fun. Let's demonstrate a README real quick. That can be a way that we fork or make a branch. We're going to make a branch. So let's go to... We're still here in our terminal. And a branch is exactly like what it sounds like, the branch on a tree. This branch grows this way, this branch grows that way. And they can be very unique and very different. And what we want to, in version control, the idea is for these branches to come back together and contribute to the whole project. But there's lots of reasons to branch projects in version control and ways that they can come back together in very organized teams. You don't mess with those files, and I don't mess with those, and so there won't be any problem whenever we push them together. But we want to make a branch here called get branch, and what did I say? We'll call it add readme, because we're going to add a readme. And so now get status. I'm on the main branch. And I want to switch. So let's get switch to add readme. Oh, get switch, add readme. Now get status on add readme. I'm on a completely different branch. Okay, so now let's do some work where I can code. And what's cool about this, in your VS Code, it'll tell you which branch you're on. Don't be difficult with me now, Lord. Okay, yeah. See, add readme of second repo on Git. It's doing some version control tracking for you right here. Pretty cool. Thank you, VS Code. Let's open our file explorer. Or we can do it without that, actually. We can just say, hey, we'll touch readme.md. And then now we see that, and we can open that, close that. And we did some markdown yesterday. And read, what do we want to type on this one? Basic HTML. That sounds fun, but no. HTML document. Does it have a head and a body? Yeah, it has a head and a body. That's it. This is a basic HTML document. It has a head and a body. Yeah, it has a head and a body. Good. I think that's an excellent summary of the work we've done there. And then now we can just add these changes. So we have the terminal open right here. So let's make that a little bit bigger. And if we say, hey, get add all those changes, get status, it's added a new file, the README, and maybe we want to make a change. Document title is HTML and get demo. There. Now if we say get status, we've added a new file, but this has been modified and we haven't made that change yet, so let's probably ought to do that. Oop, my stuff's in the way again. I don't know where to put it. And second repo. So that means we need to get add all those changes. And then let's say get commit to master and just call them add readme and index title. Okay. Now to combine your work with the main branch, has us do like a little skidoo here. Let's see what happens if we get switch main. Wait, first get status. Good, clear. What about get switch main? Switch to main. Now look, that doesn't exist, and title's back to document. Cool. Get pull. Already up to date. That's good news. No changes here. Let's get switch back to add. Oop. No. Add readme. Get status. There, we're there. And now get merge. And that could be with any number of branches, but we're choosing to give it to the main branch that we created earlier. Get merge main. Already up to date. Okay. This will bring in all the changes from main into your branch. That's good. And so now we need to get push set upstream origin branch main. So before it'll allow us to commit to main, we still got to do a PR. So let's put in the upstream where we get push set upstream of origin. I keep saying branch name. So readme. Okay. The above command creates the branch on your forked repo. So let's see what happened, where we're at in the second repo. Nothing yet. No changes. We're still waiting for compare and pull request. That's cool. So we're on the right track. So now open the PR. You do that by navigating to the forked repo and create a new PR. Now the maintainer, fingers crossed. That's never good. When they say fingers crossed in the documentation. Let's see what happens. Let's just compare and pull request. Full screen. Add readme and index title. That's all we did. And look right here. Open a pull request. Create a new pull request for viewers. I guess I'll make myself one. I guess I can't make myself one. Assignees. I can assign it to me, though. Okay, that's good. Not part of projects, 30 milestones, preview, no comments. Looks awesome. How about that for a comment? And we can... Yeah, we're good. Create pull request. No conflicts. Nobody else has messed with it. That's good. So now we need to just merge that pull request and confirm merge. And now if we go back to the repo, it's got the README with a, and you can even read me right here with a basic index and everything. So here's the code with a head and a body. Cool. Okay, no whammies there. That's good. The pull request seems like a really silly term because you really want to push your changes to the project, but the maintainer needs to consider your changes before merging it. So you're really requesting a change decision from a maintainer. I haven't heard that before, but okay. So we need to update our local repo right here. So just say git pull, already up to date. Yeah. And then we would even git switch to main. Now we're on main and we can clear that up. And if we... Oh, wait. Our main is out of date. So now we need to say git pull and huzzah. Now on our main, it's right there. Cool. That was one of the better demonstrations I've ever seen. So how to contribute to open source. Here are some friendly demonstrations for, let's find a repo that interests you. We're working on one right now, this web dev for beginners. God bless, thank you so much. It's pretty cool. And you would just go about the same process that I've gone about, where you clone it down, you navigate into the directory, wherever that may be, and then you just start making changes. Probably, if you're just getting started in the industry, start out with a change to the README or a bug report like we just did. Here I am blocking everything again. Or a bug report like we just did. If you're more advanced than that, you've been programming for a while, find those bugs and make those features more interactive, better, whatever you want to do. Because, it's all bonus points. It's all great experience. And it's all available for free. So, yeah. Cool. Our challenge, pair with a friend to work on each other's code. I'm happy to do that. If you want to reach out, we're going to be making a change to this. Here, if you want to contribute to this repository, the link is in the chat. Please say hello. That would be super cool. And thank you so much for being here. It means a lot. We're on the back end of this. We only got about 15 minutes or so. So let's knock out this post-lecture quiz and see what we've learned. A place to compare and discuss the differences introduced on a branch with reviews, comments, integrated tests, and more is GitHub. That's the cloud software. A pull request. A pull request is when you want to push together the software. And a feature branch is when you make a branch off the main thing with an add button or add README like we do. So we know it's GitHub. It's not GitHub, a place to... Nope. We'd call it a place to discuss the differences introduced on a branch. Pull request. Silly wording. Engineers, how would you get and integrate all the commits from a remote branch? How would you get and integrate all the commits from a remote branch? I think you'd pull. Git fetch. I've never typed git fetch. Pull is what we just did to update our branch. And then git commits are... I don't know if I've ever used that one either. So let's start with git pull. Hey, git pull. like we said. And how do you switch to a branch? We did that one enough. Not checkout. Get checkout is a thing. We didn't use it today, but it is a thing. Get switch. We used switch, and we switched from main and to add readme and back and forth, and I don't know what load is. I like their style though. Whenever I write quizzes, this is what I do. One honest answer, one thing that could legitimately be the other thing, and then one kind of garbage answer. So switch. Boom. Congratulations, we completed the quiz. Thank you. Uh Review and self-study. Review more about contributing to open source software. I think I very nearly gave a master class in it today. It's as simple as that. Find an issue, contribute to it, say something. You see something, say something, and try to document it well. Their get cheat sheet. I brought this up just yesterday. Don't ever go too far from one of these, and it's fine. If you forget about what some of these things are, or you need help and you need to look up a cheat sheet, there's nothing wrong with that. One of the coolest gifts you can get is like a mouse pad for somebody that wants to learn programming, a mouse pad with all of the Git commands. Practice, practice, practice. Super important. We're going to be practicing an hour every single day. So this time, and I'm looking forward to working through this curriculum over the next few weeks as it gets more advanced. Has more learning paths available via lab.github.com. 404. That's another thing we can report. Maybe we will. Not right now. First week on GitHub. Is this also not found? Yeah. Okay. Quiz. We can close that. We can. First week on all of this not found. So we can report that. Ask what they're talking about there. And again, 404s. So they got 404s down here. Cool. Well, that will be my homework. Or if you want to beat me to it and take the points and take an opportunity to meet some people at Microsoft, huzzah, let me know. Or I'm going to get those points. I want those brownie points. Every little bit helps. Cool. So we've worked through this lesson, learned a lot about GitHub, and demonstrated all of the fundamental commands. We've got about 15 minutes left. So let's do what I promise we're going to do every single day, and that's work on this web page a little bit. I know right now it kind of looks like hot garbage, and that's okay because, like I said at the beginning, this channel is all about getting a little bit better each and every day. So let's make this web page better. And I already have some version control for it on my GitHub desktop. This is my GitHub desktop and coding curricula V1. This is probably ought to be V0 if you know anything about versioning, but what we want to do is let's add another channel that I've been working on. Nope, we want that and put that on the right. That's better because we already know what this says, so we can just zoom out and it doesn't mess with us too much. Yeah, so we'll do that. All right. So we have right here, let's do NPM. This is a React project, in case you didn't get an opportunity to tune in yesterday. It's a very basic React project with everything more or less still intact. And I just scraped out the basics, and I have some of my links right here, like to this website, codingcurricula.com, that we're going to be developing out together over time. I have a YouTube channel with nothing in it, but that's going to be fixed by the end of the day because I'm going to make some stuff. Twitch TV, where you're tuning in. Thank you so much for your participation. It looks like that's working. That's good. We also have a Patreon. I don't want your money yet, but I figured why not get it started. And yesterday we added this GitHub organization page. Let's go ahead and add what I'm very proud of. I got Twitter hooked up today. Or not hooked up today, but you know what I mean? Like branded today. I branded my Twitter today. There we go. And we tweeted earlier, what's the best way to learn to code, programming, university, bootcamp, self-taught. If you want to get on there on Twitter and participate or share that would be super helpful. But for now, let's just go ahead and get this This is the live site, codingcurricula.com. This is the React app that we can spin up with npm node package manager start. Running React scripts to start your webpack that makes up all of this JSX conflagration. Maybe this will help. Yeah. Because we always want to develop mobile first. Mobile first development. Webpack deprecated. Aren't you new, React? Or didn't it just get updated? Okay. Still compiled successfully. Looks like the same thing. All right. But we want to add another link. So like we did yesterday, we can just copy and paste. Where do we want to put our Twitter? We want to put our Twitter, I guess above the homepage, because it's going to be our easiest, or below the homepage. It's where we're going to be tweeting. Copy that. Coding Twitter at Coding Curricula. Good. Target blank. Is that my Twitter handle? At Coding Curricula, yeah. Okay. Then we save that. See how it renders. Compiling. Successfully. Homepage, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch page. Okay, good. All right. Simple enough. What happens whenever we click on it? Does it take us where we want to go? Okay, Coding Curricula. All right. All good. And let's go to desktop, Coding Desktop, and add Twitter link, commit to main, push origin. Okay, good. All right. So this website, I don't like this privacy policy. It's pretty terrible. It's really bad. So what we need to do is we need to go ahead and add some routing. I want to get rid of this button, this privacy policy, and put the privacy policy on a completely separate link. That way, click here if you want to read our privacy policy instead of this button that makes it appear. So what we need to do is we need to go ahead and we'll add that to the footer. Let's add a footer. That'll be simple enough. So open your Explorer and create a brand new folder inside of our SRC directory called components. If you know anything about React, React is component based. It's everything's modular. And so instead of having this, it's a single page application, meaning the whole thing should be able to be self-contained and contain your many pieces. One of those components is going to be on every page. It's going to be something like your footer, and use title case for your component. And a footer, now that we have that and it's open, we can hide our Explorer. And so we want a footer. So create footer that goes across the bottom of the web page. So RFC for React functional component, div footer. See what it gives us. Don't do it to me. Okay. So that's not good. We don't want that. We don't want that. That's an ugly, ugly footer. And plus, yeah, what am I trying to say? It'll just line up all of those different elements across it, and we don't want that. We want a footer that says that has our privacy policy in it. So let's make another div privacy policy. Okay. And if you're kind of unclear what I'm doing, sorry I wasn't explaining that. Divs, HTML, super important. Understanding that these are opening and closing your HTML elements. See how that looks so far. Across the bottom of the page. So footer. Now let's import. Since we've created this and we've been able to export it right now, I should just say privacy policy. Let's go ahead and import footer from components footer. Save that. And footer is used but not defined. We need to define it. It's a footer, so obviously we want to define it at the very bottom. Header. I don't know, let's just for sanity do body and then footer. That's the way it works, like the head, the body, and the feet, right? Webpack compiled successfully, but I don't see my footer. Is it that you can't show? Ah, there it is. If you can't see it right here, privacy policy right there. Huzzah. Okay. So here, but inspect, that's not mobile friendly. Where'd it go? Or is it mobile friendly? And we're just blind. Yeah, it is mobile friendly. We're just blind. And everything's kind of stretched out because it's rendered at the bottom. And this whole thing has a right there. And we don't want that. And we don't want that. So we would have to introduce some routing. We're going to need to introduce some routing if we're going to do that. But first, let's cut and paste this into our footer. Well, the footer is going to actually call the privacy policy. So we need another component that's like a page. Yeah, this will be another directory where it's pages, and the pages is a privacy policy JS. And RFC privacy policy. We can take that. The whole thing contained in a div. Yeah. Take that. Cut it. And then the privacy policy goes here. Doesn't like something about that. What don't you like? Cut that. Cut that. Remove the style. Prettier. Do not. It exported. Export default. So good. Okay, what's it look like now? Pretty ugly. We need some routing to where we click on this and it'll take us to privacy policy. We also need to remove the button. Let's get rid of the button and that function. Okay. And then the styling. It's not recommended to do any styling until you're done. Because like a rabbit hole. 60. There you go. No, we don't like that. We want it to be like 90. Okay. Then inspect. And what I did there is I just said the body, well, everything right now is in the header, and it did have 100 vertical heights. We only wanted to give it like 90. That way it doesn't take up the whole screen. Privacy policy, okay. Inspect. Move over a little bit, console. And why are you so little? Okay, there, better. That's all right. That's not so bad. Privacy policy needs to be smaller. Let's go to privacy policy and the components and the footer. It's not an H1. Let's make that like an H4. There. And we also need to make it a link to something. But we don't have time for routing yet. No routing yet, just it's there. Hopefully that's enough. And we're just getting started. We've only had the one view today, so thank you so much for tuning in. It means a lot. I'm going to be here Monday through Friday, every Monday through Friday at the exact same time, where we'll do similar to today, where we work through our coding curriculum from Microsoft. Today we did Twitch for Beginners. Or yesterday we introduced myself and the program in lesson 1 with programming languages and VS Code. Today we did some GitHub desktop stuff. And then tomorrow, what are we doing tomorrow real quick? Tomorrow is accessibility fundamentals, alt tags and your images, and making sure things are readable for everybody on your team. So super exciting time. We're going to have some more opportunities to start programming. And remember, there's a bunch of cool projects coming up with this. After getting started, we got JS Basics, the Terrarium, typing game, the browser extension. That's something I'm really looking forward to. I've never done before. And then also a little arcade game style stuff and banking stuff. So yeah, keep tuning in while we continue to develop out this channel, these resources, and our own professional skill set. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.